to the cloud. And this is an easy way, so even if students aren't able to join in right away during the virtual meeting, you can just hit record and it's going to be able to share it out. So right now I just hit record, I'm going to save it, upload it to Google Drive, and then send it out into Google Classroom for anybody else who wants to see it. So Zoom is one of the things we're going to talk about. So let's go ahead and let's get started with how to design a lesson. Now what I'm doing today, since we have a smaller group, this is really easy where we can start to customize it, and I'll break it down for you as well. So when you're setting up a lesson, there's 3 things to remember. 1, do it one day at a time. This is, and I'll get into this in more detail, but a lot of the teachers just don't know how to do this, and we had to think about the students too, because watching Good Morning America today, and there's like literally a family of 6 sitting around all trying to get onto the Wi-Fi. So do it one day at a time. Number 2, create a checklist. We created a digital checklist as well as paper checklist that you will get with this whole bundle package. And there's a good reason for that, because we got to make sure that the kids know exactly what to do. So I'll dive into that in just a second. And the third thing we're going to talk about is how to post your resources and where to post your resources. How do you organize your thoughts? So let's talk about like one day at a time. I created yesterday a template, and the template literally says to the teachers, stop, breathe, and think. Think about what you would normally do in your classroom. Think about how you would actually set this up, where you're going to put up what are your objectives, how are you going to measure to see if the kids understand it, write down, and I said write, they can type too, but write down exactly what you would normally do in your classroom. So the teachers are going to sit down and say, okay, I do X, Y, and Z, and then they can start to supplement it with online resources. The biggest thing that we're noticing is that you have to do it just one day at a time. I spent years and months and weeks and hours teaching teachers how to build online resources, and we're asking the schools to go ahead and do it tomorrow. That's unrealistic for any teacher who's going to deploy this. So we just need to say, hey, give them a checklist, see how they do it for one day, and then we can build off of that. So speaking of checklists that can be printed are great because it's a way that the kids can actually have it. But I'm thinking about all my family members and all my siblings, and I think maybe 2 families have printers at home. So printed checklists are probably unrealistic at this point in time. So you might want to just go to a digital checklist, or you put a checklist out into Google Drive. What I do with the Google Drive checklist is I create the checklist in Google Drive, and when the kids complete something, they highlight it. Then they send me their copy through Google Classroom, and then I mark off, hey, I saw that you posted this. Hey, this looks great. So a checklist can definitely be used in Google Drive. You just highlight the cells, and the teacher can go back in and comment on it. They truly want to mark it off that way too. So if you have checklists that you're already using, implement it that way. So when I'm designing a lesson, again, I just built out this template. You will get the template and you'll be able to share it out with your team. But the template goes exactly what I said. Write out what you know, create the checklist, then start to supplement it with resources and ideas. For example, if I'm teaching about volume, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for online resources that are going to help teach about volume. So I'm going to go to like Study Jams or Math, Mathagon, sorry, I just lost it, Mathagon, because those are videos and resources, or Khan Academy, that are going to help supplement my mini lesson that I created. So I'm going to build my lesson first, then supplement it, then I'm going to start to post it. When I go into Google Classroom and I'm posting my items in Google Classroom, I'm literally posting it by category, saying video, mini lesson, independent practice. And that way the kids know exactly what to look for. I love Google Classroom, but if I just put everything in the stream and I don't teach the kids how to use classwork, it's going to get really crazy and complicated. Schools that really do have an LMS, this is where you benefit because you can start to put stuff into those folders. But it's okay, we have this resource, let's use it. The last thing when I'm building out my lesson and my design is that I want to make sure I notify the students. Meaning like, hey guys, I just posted something, make sure you go in and start working on it. You know, your due date is Friday. You have all week to complete 6 things. So again, start small. Don't go as filling up the whole entire day for these students. They don't know how to do it. We don't know how to do it. So let's just give ourselves a little break and start there. So Heather, What do you think? Is that a good like idea? Do you want to see the template? What are you thinking?
Oh, I really like the idea of the checklist, and I think that your kind of simple list is going to be super helpful, especially the part about what would you normally do, because I know that right now they're just overwhelmed and everybody's sharing resources on Twitter and Facebook, and it's a lot. So I like the simplicity of your steps for
Yes.
sure.
And that's exactly, this is what I just pulled it up while you were talking. This is exactly what it is. So it says teaching from home, how to get started, what to do. And it gives in like, just like a lesson plan template, because you're exactly right. These teachers are getting bombarded with everything and they don't know where to go. So just keeping it simple, start with what you really know how to do best and then build off of it. So this is what you'll get in there that you can share out with your teachers. All right. Any other questions? Okay. What would you guys like to learn about next? What would be your next topic of choice? Remember, if you want to say anything, just hold down the little space bar and we'll be able to hear your beautiful voice. How about resources? I know we just talked about there's a lot of resources, but what if I were to give you some of my top resources that you can use to really get the kids going? Um, there's a billion out there, so really start to think about which ones are going to be more impactful. Maybe as coaches or as an expert teacher in your school, you might want to go out and actually start to kind of pinpoint those for your teachers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, one, show you academic websites. So websites that are going to help gather data, that are going to help teach the skills even if they're not in the classroom. Number two, I'm going to talk about how to create different creation websites. And then number three, what I'm going to talk about is collaboration resources. So these are the three different topics that we're going to go through. There's a lot of great digital content out there. So let's kind of get started. So here's our first one. My number one that I have been talking about for years. You guys, I think I've been talking about Newsela for 12 years. Right when it came out, a good friend of mine said, Marsha, you got to take a look at this website. I fell in love with it on the spot because it actually does Lexile level up to 6 different levels. Meaning that if you assign one article to your students to read about COVID-19, they're going to be able to read it at their Lexile level. I would not necessarily recommend talking about the corona right now, coronavirus. Maybe have the kids go read about like pets. There's a lot of articles that are talking about pets. There's text sets so they can do comparisons. But this would be something that I would at first assign a specific article for the students to read, and then they can pick whatever Lexile level. Newsela just opened it up for free, meaning you do not have to pay for any of the quizzes. So the kids can go in, you can set up a classroom, the kids go in, read the article, take the quick little quiz, and that data is going to be given back to you. So you're going to be able to see how long they read for, what questions they got right, what did they miss, and you can actually start to target and differentiate some of their online learning from the data that you're getting from Newsela. So definitely take a look at Newsela. It is one of my absolute favorites. Anybody here using Newsela?
Marsha, I know that a ton of teachers in my district use Newsela, so this is going to be familiar to them, and I think they're going to say, okay, I know this. It's not a big deal. That's going to take some pressure off of them for sure.
And make sure, Heather, when you get this going with them, you're setting it up, make sure you have them assigned for just right now. Then eventually, because I'm building out checklists too. I mean, I'm like working like crazy for all the other schools that are working with us. And I eventually will say, pick an article. But at first, assign it so the kids don't get too overwhelmed also by like, well, what article do I want to read? So definitely do that. I'm glad you guys are using it, and I hope more schools jump on board. So, oh, and Tasha, don't forget there's Spanish versions too. It can be read in Spanish. So even our Spanish teachers, this is a great way that you can have them go in and use. Okay, FET
I have
Colorado.
a question about Newsela.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we haven't already pre-tested them, what do we do if we haven't already paid for the subscription, now that it's free?
Now that it's free, there is no pre-test with this. So what you're going to do is you need to go in and set up a classroom. So you're going to go in, set up a classroom. You're going to give the code to your students. So you're going to post it in Google Classroom or your learning management system. The students will go in, they'll have the code, and then they'll automatically join into the classroom. Then you just assign an article and they just read the article. The kids, that's one thing I like and dislike about Newsela. The kids get to pick what article level they want to read it at. So they can read it at a 350 Lexile or they can read it at a 1200 Lexile. They can pick, but the data then shows you, okay, Jeff, you just read this article about crossing the borders and you read it at a 3rd grade level and you're a freshman in high school. So you can have this kind of chat questions back and forth with the students to say, next time try to read at a higher level. You do not have to level set them. So it's kind of, it's okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, the next one is vetcolorado.edu. This is a great simulation for science and math. This does have some elementary aspects to it for like hands-on math activities, but I would definitely take a look at this because it's a fun, engaging activity that kids are going to be able to do micro labs from home. So they're going to be learning about matter, states of matter. They're going to go in, they'll have a beaker, they'll be able to turn the beaker heat on all the way up, and they're going to turn it down, and they're going to watch the molecules move around. This is a great way to have these little labs built into it. Don't always just think about like, oh, I got to just make sure they're reading, and writing, and math, right? Add in some fun elements such as vetcolorado.edu, the good website. The next one I want to talk about is Mathagon. I found out about Mathagon from TCEA this year. It was an Austin conference, and oh my gosh, this is one of my new loves. I love Khan Academy. I love how it has all the videos, but there's something cool about Mathagon because it engages me. Like I was really engaged by learning about symmetry. So this is math content for geometry, calculus. It has algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2. Has a lot of great resources, but what I like, it's like a book format. The book is like set up where you read a paragraph, you answer a couple questions, like fun, engaging questions, and then the next part of the book will appear. And it's very engaging where you actually are interacting with the book. It's not just like you're reading online. And you cannot progress until you complete that one section. The data that comes behind it is really great because it'll actually show you how much the kids are working and what they're working on. So this is a really good program. There is no level set either. This one is just like, hey, go in and learn about X, Y, and Z. The kids go in, they start working at their own pace. Great supplement to what you are already doing in teaching. Freckle.com. I know that my friend Cornetta is using this in her school right now, and Tasha has heard about this in Santa Monica. Freckle.com is one of my absolute favorite tools because it is for K-8. It is for math, science, language arts, and social studies. But this is a great program. If nothing else, your teachers can say, hey, I want you to go into Freckle.com, practice for 20 minutes in adaptive practice. Then as another part of their things they have to do that day is go to Freckle.com and do math facts. So I would highly recommend using Freckle. It is free. Right now you can do a 60-day trial, 30 or 60-day trial. Don't quote me on that. But I know you can get set up for free and you'd have all the data and you can have the kids do it. Even if you don't pay for a Freckle, the kids can still go in and do adaptive practice no matter when. They can go in and do the math facts. You don't need to have an extensive library. Now this one you do need to level set your students. So you would tell them to go into each one of the domains and practice their level, and then it will level set them. One other thing that I like about Freckle, it does read every question to the students. If they get the question right, it goes harder. If they get it wrong, it goes lower until it finds that equal balance. And then the kids love it because they get coins for the kids, the pig store. So definitely take a look at Freckle.com. It's one of my absolute favorites. And then the last one I want to talk about is Actively Learn. Actively Learn is an online program that kind of resembles like Edpuzzle. The students could go in and they read an article, and as they're reading, it will stop them. They have to answer a discussion question. Or as they're reading, they'll find a link, a hyperlink, they click on it and a video will pop up and say, hey, here's an example of what was going on during World War II. Here's what it looked like during the Roaring 20s and their outfits. So they can have like these built-in like videos and questions, and you get all the data. What I like about Actively Learn too is that when the kids post, they hit submit, but it does not show everybody else's answers right away. You have to submit first, then you'll see what everybody else responded. So those are some of my academic websites. I'm going to stop right now and see if you guys have any that you would like to share. Do you guys have any websites that you use that I didn't talk about?
Hey, Marcia, it's Heather.
Hi, Heather.
I just recently learned about ReadWorks, so I don't have a whole, it's a lot like Newsela, but ReadWorks is fantastic, and it's got the read aloud and the immersive reader and all that too. So ReadWorks is great. I like Nearpod quite a bit too.
Yes.
Nearpod.
Oh my gosh, I love Nearpod. It's Nearpod or Pear Duck. I always go back and forth between the two. Right. But yes, Nearpod is a good one. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but just be careful with ReadWorks because the fact that they didn't sign all of their policies for student data. I love it. I think it's great.
You have to watch that.
Just watch it. Double check your just to make sure. It could have changed in the last 2 months. Who knows? But it is one of my favorites. So thanks for sharing, Heather. Hey, Megan, I see that you jumped on. It's good to see you. How's life in New York?
Oh, sorry, I realized I don't think I'd muted myself this whole time. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say, in addition to ReadWorks, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Wonderopolis, but Wonderopolis has a lot of really great science, social studies, and just childhood interest type content. And what got me with that was the first one someone ever showed me was Cats versus Cucumbers, which was super fun.
That was awesome. I love Wonderopolis. In fact, that is one that I put on all my checklists for my nieces and nephews for next week. I'm like, go find one wonder, and I want you to go read and explore. So that's a good one, Megan. Awesome. No worries about being muted. You're fine. We got you covered. And Danielle, I see that you're on. Hey, sweetheart. How's life in Texas? She's probably like, darn it, Marcia, you called me out. All right. I want to get back to this because I want to showcase, again, I just want to keep going through. I know I'm showing you tech tools and we're all like, how do we do tech tools? And it's going to be too overwhelming. But again, these are my top favorites. And the next one is one of my absolute favorites as far as, oh, can you see my screen? Yep, I think you guys are there. Hold on. The next one I'm going to share out is the creation tools. And these are definitely great ones that I think that you would be good to add to your classroom or into your home learning. So creation, Seesaw.me. Anybody who's been around me knows I'm always talking about Seesaw, but now is a time where we can really utilize this. Students have phones, they have iPads, parents have phones. This would be a really good one to say, hey, go for a nature walk, take a photo of a bird. Hey, go for a nature walk, take a picture of a plant. Then they can put it into Seesaw, draw and write on top of it like, hey, this is this type of bird, or here's the sound a bird makes. So this is good for K-12. High school kids, my sister who's an art teacher is using it to showcase their progress with their artwork. So every day they have to take a photo of their artwork, upload it to Seesaw so she can actually see that they're still working on it, because how do you do online art, right? So Seesaw.me is one of my absolute favorite for creation, for videos, for online resources. So take a look at that one. Scratch. This is almost like a perfect dream. Like my husband is like, oh my gosh, kids can spend time coding. You're exactly right. Jeff, you're listening, I can see you smiling right now, because this is the time where kids can go in and use Scratch. They can go in and they can start to learn how to code with block coding. If Scratch scares your environment of teachers, then you can have them go to code.org. Both of them are great. They're both programs work about the same way. It will walk the kids step by step. We have seen Scratch being used in math classrooms, in Spanish classrooms, and language arts classrooms, where they have to code the creature or object to do something to showcase that they understand symmetry or that they understand cause and effect. So yes, it looks like you're just learning code, but then build it in to actually tie into the curriculum is pretty easy once you get going. Toontastic. Toontastic is one of my favorites for having the kids create stories. We're at home. This is a great time for them to go in and build and sit and create a project with Toontastic. It works on iPads, Chromebooks, anything that has internet access. The kids go in and build a story. It has climax. It talks about text features. So this is a really good one that you might want to add too for creation. Storyboardthat.com. I love Storyboard because it's going to give you almost like a comic strip where the kids can go in and they can do different pieces and parts. So what happened first, what happened second, what happened third. So this is a really good way just to have the kids go in and showcase what they're learning, how they're feeling. Maybe this is a new journal entry like, hey, what'd you do first part of the day? What'd you do the second part of the day? What'd you do the third part of the day? So take a look at Storyboard That. And then my favorite, S'more. You guys, I love S'more. I always have, but in the last couple of days, it makes me feel happy when I go in and I look at my S'more newsletter. It's just like a poster maker for those people who don't know S'more. But I go in and I see where in the world people are actually hitting my S'more. And one day I had 35 people open up my poster and I made it clear across the world. So it's really cool to see exactly where people are clicking, and it makes you feel like you're not so lonely in your house and you are making an impact. So I would definitely have your kids go in and make a s'more.com, a poster, but please be careful. Make sure you tell them, please don't add your first name, your last name, your email address. Don't put in your location. Be that good digital citizen that we need to make sure we're doing so that way the kids aren't doing or getting hurt by somebody coming and knocking on their door saying, hey, I saw that you were going to have a party. All right. The next one we're going to talk about is collaboration. These are online websites that kids can still collaborate. All the news and everything's talking about how these millennials are really good about collaborating online. They are really good about texting and FaceTiming, but I want to talk about some other tools that are going to allow them to collaborate together. Emaze.com is an online slideshow, and it does work just like Google Slides, but it's a little bit more fun because the kids can work on the slideshow together, and it has different features. Like you're going to be walking down a maze, you're going to be looking at it as a newspaper. There's all these really cool ways that you can set this up for Emaze where the kids can work together. Padlet. I love Padlet. It is a paid, a freemium version, but what I like about it is like a Pinterest wall. So you post a question and kids can post back and forth and talk to each other. It's a closed Pinterest wall, so not everybody is going to be able to see what your students are posting. I like it because it's easy to use, it's fun, it's engaging, and the kids can still feel like they're talking in the classroom, but they're talking through Padlet. YoTeachApp.com. This is a back channel. So we want our kids to talk. I want to have a discussion. I just don't want to keep talking to myself. I want to be able to have the kids talk back and forth to me. So YoTeachApp.com is a back channel that you set up where it's just as like a discussion board. So while you're having your office hours, you can have the kids go in and they can type in what they're doing, how, post say questions, and they can write back and forth. Yes, there are a lot of other apps that do it, but this one is so super easy and it's really not hard to run that I would recommend this to a lot of my teachers who are teaching from home. Of course, Flipgrid. This is your time to make Flipgrid shine because now you can have the kids go out with their phones, again, while they're doing something or playing a game or they're doing something exciting. You can have them go and make a quick little video to go along with it. Flipgrid is fun, it's easy, and it is free. And my last one, this is Danielle, if you're still on, this is because of you. I think you use Voxer a lot with your friends. Voxer is like a walkie-talkie. A lot of the kids are really good about talking and expressing their ideas, but typing might not be their forte. So allow them to do Voxer. Voxer is just a walkie-talkie app that you set up as a group, and the kids can talk back and forth with their cute little voices. So definitely take a look at that. And then of course, while today I was watching and learning and all about what's going on, of course, we're seeing Google Hangouts, we're seeing Facebook groups, we're seeing FaceTime, where the kids can actually jump on there too to do some collaboration. So those are just some of my favorite applications that I would highly recommend getting started with your online, like teaching from home. So Anybody want to add to any of those or have questions about them? Okay. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. What I want to do next is we have some other options too. I know a lot of you who are on here already know about some of those things such as Google Classroom, but there are other things too that we could talk about. From a coaching point of view, if a lot of you are coaches, so from a coaching point of view, I think one of the things I would start with first is creating videos. So do you want to, can I show you how I would get going with creating videos? Is that okay with everybody? I hope your heads are nodding yes, because mine is. This is what we're going to do. So here we go. We're going to talk about creating videos. And the first thing we're going to talk about is cell phones and selfie sticks. I also want to talk about, like, you can see a video of me down below doing a video for like one of my online classes. I try to make it as engaging as possible. Yes, the slideshows are great, but then I'm going to teach you also like some ideas that you can do with it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Zoom, which you are currently using. So Zoom could be a good video creator. And then that last thing I'm going to talk about is WeVideo. This is one of the good ones that are easy. I know some of our schools already have free access to it. And if you don't want to use WeVideo, I'll give you some more. So let's start out first with Selfie Sticks. You kind of laugh, but I love my selfie stick. And now my selfie stick has a tripod on it. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but it actually has a tripod. So what I can do is I can set up my phone. I can set it up and I can record either way, right? I can set it up so that my phone is here recording what I'm doing by actually angling it so I can actually see my paper while I'm writing, and then the video camera is recording my face. So I can do both in one. So I love my selfie stick, and it also comes with a remote. So when the world gets back to normal, next time I go on vacation, I can just take my selfie stick and be really cool, right? Walking down the beach. Okay, come on. I'm just laughing at myself now. The next one is a light ring. What this is basically, if I'm working and it's dark out, I could actually put the light ring on, put it right on top of my computer, and if I keep hitting it, oops, I'm gonna go here. If I keep hitting it, do you see how my face got brighter? So this little light ring is pretty inexpensive. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but if the teachers don't have good lighting and they're making their videos, then you want to really make sure that they have something to help them. So this would be a recommendation. And then how do I get kids to learn? I have fun. I get them to want to learn and watch my videos. So I have my puppy doggy stick. Yep, the dog even has a selfie stick. A selfie stick for the dog means I'm going to put a little treat, and then it's going to be clipped onto my phone, and then my doggy will take a photo. So there's my puppy Carson, and she did not enjoy the fact that I was taking a photo. She just wanted the treat. But the little selfie stick for pups are a fun way to capture those moments. And I can really see kids getting into that too. So that is just for fun, a puppy selfie stick. But when you're taking videos, you don't have to go to the extreme of having these big, giant applications. People know how to make videos with their phones, so teach them. First one, just make a video with your phone. Have it setting up, record yourself, post it. A video from a teacher is way more powerful than a video from a stranger. So definitely set those up as your ideas. You're currently in Zoom, and I like Zoom because it is really easy to use. Literally, it's going to, when I'm done, I'm going to hit stop recording. The video is going to be downloaded to my computer, and then I'm going to upload it right to Google Drive. It's really seamless. It's easy to use. It records my voice as a separate file, and it also records the video and voice as a separate file. So now I have two options. If the kids would rather do like a podcast, I can set it up as a podcast too. Without even thinking twice, it's pretty easy to use. You do get, and I think they just upped it. It was 30 minutes for free, but now I think it's going to 45 minutes. So you can definitely do that. And it's easy to put right into it. But I just created a video. Go to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see the Zoom video talking about how easy it is to get set up, how to get it going with it, how to create a meeting. So definitely take a look at Zoom. The last one I want to talk about for when you're doing teacher videos is WeVideo. There are a lot. I actually don't use WeVideo personally myself. I use Camtasia. but We Video is a lot less expensive and has a lot of the same features. When I make a video, I want to make sure that they can see my screen and they can see my face. The more I have with my face, the more the kids are going to be able to connect with me. So We Video is going to allow that. Screencastify is one, but I don't think it has picture within a picture. I like Camtasia because Camtasia is just one that I use, but I pay about $250 for the license. So it does get kind of pricey. This one, if you even end up buying it, it's about like $7 a month, or it's not that crazy. I know Sci-Fair ISD went and bought it for everybody, so if anybody at Sci-Fair is watching this, this would be the one that I would do to get you going with it. So there's some of my getting started with making your own videos. And I saw a bunch of questions that came up. Heather, you love Camtasia. Why do you love Camtasia so much?
I like Camtasia because I like adding the graphics to the video, whether it's pointing to something on my screen or it's just additional, I don't know, it's just more, and it's easy to do, and I like to make one fade in and one fade out and move around, and it's great. It just makes it a little more engaging.
You spend a lot of time making and editing your videos. You're way more than me. I use it just to get them out there and then to cut out what I don't want to hear. That's awesome. I'm glad you're a Camtasia friend. Screencastify. Oh, it does do picture within a picture. Okay, that's good to know. I haven't used it in a while. I didn't know if it did or not. So Screencastify. Thank you, Tasha. That is a good one too. Oh, okay. So Megan, you're saying that it's waiving its limit of people participating for Zoom. Wow, that's a big deal. It does allow corner screen, but the version is only 5 minutes or less per video. So, oh, I see what you're saying, Megan. So if it's actually setting it up where you're recording it, it's only 5 minutes or less. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute myself real quick.
You're fine.
To two separate things. Zoom right now, if you are only on their free or limited Zoom to deal with the current situation, they are waiving the limit of how many people you can have attend. So that way teachers could Zoom with their entire class of students.
That's great.
For Screencastify, I was saying, yeah, it has the picture-in-picture, but most of my teachers are only using the free version of Screencastify, which limits the length of your video to 5 minutes or less.
Yes, and that can be, especially for people who like to talk, myself, that can be a problem. But, you know, students like 5 minute or less videos. But yeah, so you got to weigh all the pros and cons. So as you're going out and helping teachers develop and design these online lessons, those are things that we definitely want to point out to them, saying, hey, here's pros, here's cons, just try one. Again, we know we can always use our phone. Oh, there's my doggy too. You can always use your phone to actually just start out if they are too scared and they don't know what to do yet. So you start somewhere, because we need those teachers to continue to teach. They are great educators, and the last thing we want them to do is have a muted voice and let somebody else run their classroom. So the more they can get comfortable with making videos, the better. And tell them, don't be afraid to show your face. We want to connect with you. That's what makes it so great about this online learning, is that with all the technology we have, we can still be connected with those students, because we can still be face-to-face with them, even when we're all learning from our own homes. So that's the biggest hurdle that I'm seeing and trying to overcome with all the teachers I'm working with, is just to feel comfortable. We're not going to be the next Khan Academy teachers. We're not going to be the next YouTube stars. We just need to be there for our kids right now. So really spend time, if I were to put priorities, how to teach, how to create a good video, even a video, how to create a video, how to get it out to the students, and telling the teachers, just every day, just go out and record yourself. One little quick video. That way the kids can still see, hear, and learn from their teacher. There's my little soapbox. Sorry, got a little excited. Hey, Annabelle, you're here. It's so good to see you. I'm looking at like the participants, and Annabelle jumped in. It's so good to see you, sweetheart. Hope you're doing well. All right. Any other questions? Because I'm going to do all of these videos, everything I just shared with you is on the Blended Learning PD website. I'm going to jump over there right now, and I want to show you. If when you go into the blendedlearningpd.com website, it has now changed. The very home screen now says teaching from home. And I even came up with a cute little logo, which I'm making stickers. I know, crazy, but I'm making stickers because I want to be proud of this. This is going to be a moment in time that we're going to always be talking about is how we taught students all across the country from home. So my new homepage is all about teaching from home. I do have a hashtag. And then here are the video playlists. So everything I talked about today and more is on here. So if you missed it, if you know somebody that wants to do it, there's all 6 videos. It's a playlist all set up in YouTube. Also, remember, make sure you fill out that Google form because I will send you this. I have it up on the site for paid, but it's free. I just want to make sure I know who's going to it. So you can go in, you just send me an email if you need to, but I'll give you a code. The code you can then go in and you can grab the bundle pages where it has the lesson plan template, it has how to get started, it has all of our tech tools, and then it also has checklists, virtual checklists, meaning online checklists as well as paper checklists that you can upload into Google Classroom to start using with your students. So definitely take a look at that. And I just made yesterday 6 new videos about like games for students to play. So definitely some games that they could do for family fun night. Learning to play a game, I think, is a really great social skill that we need to learn how to do. And it's way better than just binge watching Netflix. So definitely take a look at that website. Again, I'm turning and burning. I think I've slept for maybe 5 hours in the last 2 days just because my mind won't stop. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna add this. I wanna do this because I wanna be out there helping as much as possible. Another thing too is that we are setting up virtual hours. When I'm working with some of the teachers, I'm noticing that we're all at different levels. Teachers who actually paid attention to my workshops versus teachers who have not paid attention to my workshops. So what I'm saying is, even though we think that all the teachers might know how to use Google Classroom, they might not. So what we're doing is we're setting up virtual hours where you can jump online and have one-on-one conversations or planning sessions with your team. So if that's something that you would want to sign up for or you want to get your team doing, please let me know. Send me an email and we can get you going. Of course, love to give away all my time for free, but at the same time, I really need to make an income too. So for the schools I'm not currently working with, there is a price, but it's nothing crazy. And it could definitely be workable. We could do something to help you get going. So I know, Megan, you have a big school district that you're working with, and it's you kind of out there going after the cause, and I know you need help. So if you need extra help and support, just let me know. I'll be more than willing to help you. But that's kind of like what I was just going to share out and kind of get you going. But do you guys have any other questions for me? I do see a couple more messages down here. You played Ticket to Ride last night, Danielle? Yay! What did you think? Her mute, she's
okay. No, I got it. I got it.
What'd you think?
It was good. It was challenging, but I think that we figured it out now. So we did the first journey.
Good. You did the first journey once, or the kid version?
It was the kid version, so it was a little bit easier than the real version because we played both.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is one of my absolute favorites. I actually have it right here underneath my laptop, but if I do that, it's gonna all drop. But Ticket to Ride is one of the videos I made yesterday, and it is a really fun game. It keeps your family engaged for at least an hour. Well, I don't know about Danielle's girls. No, just kidding, sweetie. But it is, it's a fun game that I would highly recommend. It's a fun one to get. Blockus is another one I talk about. The one video I'm going to make today, I know some of you have seen this before, but Tenzi, I think this would be a really good one. Like Danielle, I could totally see your girls getting into the Tenzi cards where they had to make patterns and what that looks like. But Tenzi is just a fun dice game. So this dropped one. This might be something that you might want to do too. It's just a fun way to get the kids to be engaging, and it's fast paced. And one of the cards says every time you roll like a 2, you had to bark like a dog. So I think that would be kind of fun, a fun way just to kind of get kids to do something different. So take a look at those too. Any other questions? Oh, mystery science. That is a good one too. You guys, mystery science is it has great little mini lessons that you could add in for the science classrooms. You see how just in an hour, now we have all these different ideas, but we have to stop. We have to breathe. we have to say to take it one day at a time. Start with those teachers and they know what they know how to teach. So now we just need to keep expanding on it. So start with what they know, supplement it in. Mystery Science is a fantastic resource. I would definitely put that in one of my checklists for any of my nieces and nephews. All right. Don't forget, if you go to the chat, go to the very first post link that I put up there, click on that link, fill it in, and I'm going to send you all the slides, and I'm going to send you kind of like that starter pack. For those that I jumped on later, I actually did create some home technology ideas. Like I could totally see some kids really getting into this. This was talking about tech tools that I just showcased. I kind of did it as like the tear off. So if you're at home and you have a printer, this would be kind of fun for kids to do. That's not necessarily like, hey, you need to do this, but give them some choice. And then these are all phone apps that they can actually set up where they could go in and do a pic collage, a video, a Pinterest board. So these all tie in, but the idea is that we tie it back to their content standard. But at first, just let them pick and create. The last one that I created was without any technology for those schools that just don't have it. This is not on that packet, but I will definitely send it if you guys are interested. So these are just activities that they can do. Create a song, create a board game. These have templates too, so if there's something that they might need to do, there's a sample template. So these are some of the things that we are creating and developing and designing as we speak. So continue hitting me up, follow me, keep watching. And I hope you guys get to go have a green beverage somewhere. Well, not here in Ohio. All of our bars are shut down. So I'm just gonna have to go get some food coloring. But again, thanks guys for joining. And if you wanna share this out, definitely feel free to pass along any of this information. I'll post this video of everything we just talked about today on that website so you guys will have it as well. Miss you guys. My heart is with everyone. We got this. All right, have a great day. Happy St. Patrick's Day.